SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple की चैतन्य चैतामृत की गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-Lila, chapter 5, text number 30. Salokya, Samipya, Srasti, Sarupya, Prakara, चारी मुक्ति दिया करे जीवेरा निष्ठारा। सालोक्य सामीप्य सृष्टि सारूप्य प्रकार, चारी मुक्ति दिया करे जीवेर निस्तारा। सालोक्य सामीप्य सृष्टि सारूप्य प्रकार, चारि मुक्ति दिया करे जीवेर निस्तारा। सालोक्य सामीप्य सृष्टि सारूप्य प्रकार, चारि मुक्ति दिया करे जीवेर निस्तारा। ताय भूरि करुणाय दया। Matajis, Salokya, the liberation called Salokya. Samipya, the liberation called Samipya. Srasti, the liberation called Srasti. Sarupya, the liberation called Sarupya. Prakara, varieties. Chari, 4. Mukti, liberation. Diya, giving. Kare, does. Jivera, of the fallen souls. Nistara, deliverance. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. He delivers the fallen living entities by offering them the 4 kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Srasti and Sarupya. Purport: there are 2 kinds of liberated souls: those who are liberated by the favor of the Lord and those who are liberated by their own effort. One who gets liberation by his own effort is called the impersonalist, and he merges into the glaring effulgence of the Lord, the Brahmajyoti. But devotees of the Lord who qualify themselves for liberation by devotional service are offered four kinds of liberation, namely Salokya, status equal to that of the Lord; Samipya, constant association with the Lord; Srasti, opulence equal to that of the Lord; and Sarupya, features like those of the Lord. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalptarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamalini Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye. So, Shaitan Chaitanya, glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. So, in this verse it is mentioned, the Lord gives to the fallen souls four kinds of mukti: Salokya, Samipya, Srasti, Sarupya. Right? So, in Gajendra Moksha prayers, Gajendra was praying, this is the best of all verses, Gajendra Moksha. Madrik Prapanna Pashupasha Vimokshanaya. Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namolayaya Swam Sena Swakritam Bhuya Namaste Madrik Prapanna Pashupasha Vimokshanaya Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namolayaya Swam Sena Swahridayena Vibhavitaya. Every day I chant, I forgot. So it is mentioned that Madrik Prapanna Pashupasha, we are all, Prabhupada writes in the purport, that we are all covered by crocodile Maya. Maya called like crocodile, like elephant is captured by the crocodile. In the same way, we are all covered by Maya. So, in order to deliver all of us, Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namolayaya. Krishna is, Prabhupada say, he is Muktaya, completely liberated. You know, Muktaya Bhuri Karunaya Namolayaya. Swamsena Sarvatanubun, so by his own will, he expands himself as super soul in all our hearts. So, because he is completely liberated, Muktaya, and then Bhuri Karunaya, Bhuri Karunaya means he is unlimitedly merciful on fallen living entities. Muktaya Bhuri Karanaya, Namolayaya. So he gives liberation. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that uh, even before we start praying for the Lord for our mukti, the Lord starts making plans how to deliver us. So pratyak drushe bhagavate brahate namaste. Now I got mukta madruk prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaaya muktaya bhuri karunaya namolayaya swamsena sarvatanubun muktaya bhuri karunaya. So he namaste bruhat. Bruhat means, Prabhupada writes that Bruhat means here it represents Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he comes to deliver all of us. That is why, especially, he gives to give liberation to those who are practicing devotional service. And then Kunti Maharani is saying that Bhavesmin Krishamananam Avidya Kamakarmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhanani Karishyad Iti Kechana. So we are all bound by avidya. Because of that, we perform all kinds of karmas. And because of that, we become bound. Then we suffer so much, then because of that, in order to deliver all of us, Krishna comes and then establishes the process of chanting, Shravana, Smarana, remembering, Arhana, worshipping. Arhana, worshipping. So, as devotees, we are not interested in getting any of these four kinds of liberation. Right? So, Lord Kapila says in 3rd canto, 29th chapter, Madguna Shruti Matrena Mai Sarva Guhashaye Manogatir Avichinna Yata Ganga Ambuja Asadau Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Udahrataha Ahetyaki Avyavahita Ya Bhaktir Purushottame. The transcendental devotional service is symptomized by these features of whenever a devotee hears the wonderful qualities and the names of Krishna, his mind automatically, one who is residing in our heart, Sarvaguha Shastraye, his mind is attracted to Krishna, spontaneously, just like Ganges water flows to towards the ocean without any obstacles. That devotional service is symptomized by ahetaki, causeless, and avyavahita, without cessation. Yeah? It runs towards the Ya Bhaktir Purushottame. So Srila Prabhupada writes that a devotee of Krishna doesn't desire anything, neither material nor spiritual. It's very interesting comment. Neither material nor spiritual. So Prabhupada once, Prabhupada was giving some interview. Then he was saying, a devotee doesn't have any ambition. Any ambition. Then Kirtanananda Prabhu was there. Then he said he tried to correct Prabhupada. But they have spiritual ambitions, going back to Godhead. Prabhupada said, no. No. He doesn't have spiritual ambition also. He has no ambition. A devotee is satisfied if he can chant Hare Krishna. If somebody gives him service, he will do it. Otherwise, he will take his chadar and clean the doors of the dust. So, Ahetaki, that is the meaning of Ahetaki. So Prabhupada writes, when the Ganges water starts flowing from Gomukh, and it runs so fast, it runs so fast. If any obstacles they come, she overcomes those obstacles and runs towards Bay of Bengal. Prabhupada says our devotional service should be like Ganges flow. Ganges flow. Any obstacles are there, you should overcome, and then we should not become cessation. Prabhupada says the devotional service can be performed under all material circumstances. Another meaning Prabhupada gives that the desire of the devotee harmonizes with the desire of the Lord. Desire of the Lord. That is called oneness. We don't go and merge with the like that. So then in the next verse, Lord Kapila says, Salokya samipya srasti sarupyaikatvam apiuta diyamanama grunanti vina matsevanam jana. My devotees, even if I offer them, Salokya samipya srasti sarupya, they don't like to take. They don't like to take. Why? Because without my service, they don't like to go to Vaikuntha also. So Prabhupada writes, that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadish kamaye, mama janmani janmani shari bhavatat bhakti raheti kitvayi. I don't want to go, give me birth after birth, but please engage me in your service. I don't want money, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam, followers and all that. I don't want. I want to render service to you life after life. So Prabhupada writes that devotees, they don't even like to go to Vaikuntha. They want to simply serve the Lord here. Sometimes, if they want, Krishna sends them to Vaikuntha and offers them these 4 kinds of mukti: Salokya, Samipya, Srasti, Sarupya. So all of you know, Salokya means living in the same planet. Right? Sarupya means having the same form of the Lord, except for Srivatsa and Kaustubmani. Right? When Gopakumar, he went to Vaikuntha, he became confused. He was saying, he saw one Vishnuduta, Vaikunthavasi. My dear Lord, please accept my humble obeisances. Like that. Narayana, Narayana. Don't offer, I'm not Narayana, I'm not Narayana. Hare, ekdam, we are looking exactly like Narayana. No. Whomever he was seeing, he was offering obeisance. Then they explained to him, Narayana means one who has a Kaustuba jewel, and then Srivatsa, Srivatsa, like that. So people, devotees get confused. They exactly look like, Narayana. But then that is Srasti, same opulence, right? Same opulence. Prahlad Maharaj says, all of you also can get, Srasti Mukti. Simple one, Prahlad Maharaj gave it. Vimunchanti yada kaman. Manavo manasistitan tarihi eva pundrikaksha bhagavataya kalpate. My dear Lord, anybody who gives up desires that are emanating in the mind, completely become free from desires in the mind. Such a person, my dear Lord, O Pundrikaksha, they will get same opulence like you. You award them same opulence like you. Anyway, so that is there, Salupya, like that. Prabhupada writes one very interesting comment in 10th canto, I think 1st chapter or 2nd chapter. Prabhupada writes, I think 2nd chapter. So Kamsa, when he came to know that Krishna, Devaki became Garbhavati, and then she is effulgent, she is effulgent, he understood Vishnu has appeared in her stomach. Then in his mind he concluded that Vishnu, he is not, cannot be killed by anybody, he will fulfill all his desires and he will do whatever he likes. He cannot be killed. So Prabhupada writes, simply by this partial understanding, Prabhupada writes, simply by this partial understanding, he attained Sarupya Mukti. Partial understanding that Krishna cannot be killed by anybody. I was very interesting comment like that. So even what is Agasura, all these people, they got Sarupya Mukti. Agasura also got Sarupya Mukti. Kamsa got Shishupal and Dantavakra. They also got Sarupya Mukti. So this is a Sayeva Bhakti Yogakya, Atyantika Uparata. Nati Vrajena Tri Gunan Madbhavo Upapadyate. So by practicing devotional service, Nati Vrajena, this highest thing, to attain unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service, Nishkinchana Bhakti, Aikantika Bhakti. Such devotional service can be, by transcending the three modes. Nati Vrajena Tri Gunan Madbhava Upapadyate. Right? They will attain my same nature, like that, by practicing devotional service. So we all should aspire for this unmotivated, uninterrupted, unflinching, devotional service. Right? That is why there are three, Akaratrayam, Ananya Sheshatvam, right? Ananya Sharanatvam, then Ananya Bhogatvam. Three akaras, Akaratraya. Ananya Sheshatvam means I will not serve anybody except Lord Shri Krishna. That is Ananya Sheshatvam. Sesha means I will perform all activities to give happiness to Krishna. I should become the cause of Ananda to Krishna. That is called Seshatvam. So Ananya Seshatvam, then Ananya Sharanatvam. Ananya Sharanatvam means I will not take shelter of anyone else except Krishna. Right? If you are in trouble, we should not, start doing lobbying, इसके पास जाओ, उसके पास जाओ, बचाओ, बचाओ प्रभु, बचाओ. Right? Nay, we should only go to Krishna. Ananya Bhogatvam means enjoying only with Krishna. That also you don't enjoy. Devotees, they are afraid, oh, am I enjoying by chanting Hare Krishna? Am I enjoying? I should be, become an instrument for Krishna's enjoyment. Right? All of you go and read purport. Akama, Sarvakama, Mokshakama Udarati, Tivrena Bhakti Yogana. So Prabhupada quoted in that purport that devotees, they are happy in the happiness of Krishna. That is called Akama. Like that. So Lord Kapila, he gives Nishevatena Animittena, Sadharmena Mahiyasa, Kriya Yogena Sastena, Nati Himsena Nityasaha. So he is, so our topic is right now, how to attain unmotivated, uninterrupted, devotional service, Ahatiki Bhakti, right? So for that, Lord Kapila is giving how do we attain that? How do we attain that? See, he is saying, Nishevitena, engaged, Animittena, Swadharmena Mahiyasha, glorious Swadharma, occupational duties, you must perform without attachment. And then Kriya Yogena, Kriya Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. Kriya Yogena Shastena, auspicious Kriya Yogena. So, Nati Himsena, without committing too much violence, one must perform devotional service. And also, one must perform Swadharma without any attachment. Then, Maddishnya Darshana Sparsa Stuti Pujadi Abhivandanaha. Abhivandanaha. So, you must come to the temple and you should darshana, you should take my darshan, and then sparsha, you should touch my lotus feet. Like pujaris, we can touch the lotus feet. Those, for them, shatari is there, like that. Puja, stuti, abhivandana. You must perform puja, and then you must glorify me, offer prayers, abhivandana, and bhuteshu mad bhavanaya. You must see every living entity as my part and parcel. That is spiritual vision. Spiritual vision. Satsangena, satvena, asangena cha. Prabhupada writes, just because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, it doesn't mean that I will go and embrace tiger. Right? You must see that person as a part and parcel of Krishna. Maybe can, give prasad. Not that, once one devotee approached, he was going in the forest. Then he saw a lion came in front of him. Oh, you are part and parcel. Oh, lion, please accept my humble obeisances. So when he got up, lion was chanting, Maha Prasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave. Right? So, Prabhupada writes, very interesting purport. Prabhupada writes, everybody who chants Hare Krishna even once is a Vaishnava, but if he is not of a good character, you should not associate with him. Very interesting. If somebody is doing some lafda, Arey Vaishnava, devotee hai, bahut saal se seva kar raha hai. Okay, we offer obeisances, but not associate with such a person. Satvena asangena cha. Mahatam bahumanena. One must, Prabhupada writes, one must offer greatest respect to Acharya. Mahatam bahumanena. Deenanam anukampitaha. One must show mercy to fallen people. Mitraya atmatulyeshu. To the same category people, you must make friendship with them. You must make friendship with them. And then then he says, Adhyatmika Ashrunvan Nama Sankirtana Etat. Nama Sankirtana Etat. So it says that always hear about the glories of Krishna's pastimes, glorious Krishna's pastimes. Always. Right? Adhyatmika Ashrunvan Nama Sankirtana Etat. One must chant all the time Nama Sankirtan. And then Arjavena Arya Sangamena. One must be very simple and tolerant, Arjavena. Arya Sangamena. One must associate with pure devotees. One must associate with pure devotees. Nirahankara evacha. Then Lord Kapila concludes. Lord Kapila concludes that Madharmena Gunair Etair. Purushasya Parisamsubdha Ashaya. Purushasya Anjasa Abhyeta. Shrutam hi madgunan iha. He says, when you follow all these things, then you will reach a stage, of transcendental devotional service, Vishuddha Sattva, Bhakti in Vishuddha Sattva, Mad Gunena, Mad Dharmano Gunair Etair. When you become completely purified, Parisamsuddha Ashaya, all your aspirations, you are completely purified. So that time, he concludes that just like when the air, carries fragrance and then it touches your nostrils, in the same way, you can capture Krishna who is residing everywhere. Right? Who is residing everywhere. So these are the various, this is how, So one of the, that is why Srila Prabhupada says, Prabhupada established, this movement, and especially, for Sri Vaishnavas, their Charma Shloka is Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanavraja. But for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Charma Shloka is Manmana Bhava Madbhakta Madhyaja Mam Namaskaru. Mame Vaishya Satyamte Pratijani Priyosime. So Krishna is saying that always think of me, become my devotee, right? And then Manmana Bhava Madbhakta Madhyaji, worship me. Then Mam Namaskaru, offer obeisance to me. I am giving you promise. I am giving you Pratijani Priyosime, because you are very dear to me. So in this regard, Vishwanath Thakur says that I heard that Madhura Vasis, they tell so many lies. How can I trust you? Right? Krishna said, what you said is true. Madhura Vasis बहुत झूठ बोलते हैं. लेकिन प्रियोसी में, those who are very dear to us, we don't tell lies. Because you are very dear to me, I am not telling lie. Mame Vaishya Satyam Te. I am giving you promise, like that. So, anyway, so this verse, Vishwanath Thakur says that you give me your mind and the senses, I will give myself to you. I will give myself to you. Like that. So, the Lord is, Vishwanath Thakur, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, he, if you like, when you come inside the temple, when you see the deity, right? I always say this, you must utter these two sentences. What are they? Divya Mangala Murti, boliye, and Ananta Kalyana Guna Sampanna. Right? You must tell Radharasbihari, my dear Lord, your body is not made of, your body is not made of matter. You are transcendental. Your body is made, transcendental. Divya, that is where Divya. Divya means giving prakash. And then auspiciousness, Mangala. And then Murti, you are a person. So Prabhupada wrote, I forgot to tell that Madhyashna in that verse. Prabhupada writes, neophyte devotees, they think that they see the difference between the deity and Krishna. They think that deity is representative of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But pure devotees, they don't see the difference between the deity and Krishna. For them is the same. For them is same. Like that. So, this we must actually stand in front of the deity and think of wonderful qualities of Krishna. Vilasa Hasekshita Vamasukte. Like one Babaji came into Prabhupada, Atmatattva Prabhu was telling that one Babaji came to Prabhupada, your Krishna Balaram are very nutcut. They do so many mischievous activities, stealing butter and all. Prabhupada smiled, So when he came to Krishna Balaram temple, he is seeing, Vilasa Hasekshita Tvad darshani avyavair udara vilasa hasekshita vamasukte hritatmana hrit pranam cha bhaktir, anichato me gatimanvim prayukte. This is a verse from 25th chapter, 3rd canto. So, my devotees, they come and they see the angas of the myself which are worthy of seeing. Tad darshaniya avyavaya udara. And then vilasa hasekshita vamasukte. Prabhupada writes, dress Srimad Radharani so nicely, Krishna will become attracted to Srimad Radharani and he glances at her with sideline glances and then he will not go anywhere. He will not go anywhere. Prabhupada in Mumbai temple, he said, make so many nice dresses. Now we have so many dresses, we don't have space to keep them. That's why we have to reduce. So many nice dresses. Dress Srimad Radharani very nicely. Like that. Krishna becomes attracted so that he will not run away. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, a neophyte devotee, when compared to a person who is performing austerities and penances in Himalayas and all, a neophyte devotee is far better than a yogi, jnani and all. Because when he comes into the temple and stands in front of the deity and appreciates the beauty of Krishna, Divya Mangala Murti, Ananta Kalyana Gunasampanna, oh wonderful, such wonderful qualities, my dear Lord, you have. Ananta Kalyana. So, Tiruppai, Andal, she 30 verses of Tiruppai. In that, she keeps telling we should take bath, Dhanurmas, taking bath, like gopis have taken bath in Yamuna. But they never went to take bath. So, Sri Ramanuja says, taking bath in this context is guna anubhavam, guna anuswadanam. Guna anuswadanam means bathing in the sarovar of wonderful qualities of Krishna. That is the. So, we must read, especially 10th canto Bhagavatam, on a regular basis. And there are 32 qualities enumerated by Narad Muni about Lord Ramchandra. So, according to Shri Vaishnavas, understanding Ramayana means, when you read Ramayana, you must figure out this pastime, which quality has Lord Ramchandra exhibited. Right? If you, in the same way, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi-Lila, teachings to Lord Chaitanya, teaching to Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya quoted verse number 70 up to some 15 verses. Ayam neta sumanyanga sarvasat lakshananvitaha ruchiro tejasa yukta baliyan vayasyanvitaha. Like this, Vivida Adbhuta Bhashavit Satyavak Priyam Vadaha, Vavaduka Supandittajnyo Buddhiman Prativanvitaha. Like this, 64 qualities. Please go and remember those. I know all the verses. Now I don't want to say. 64 qualities are enumerated in all this. Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they say, Srimad Bhagavat, understanding Srimad Bhagavatam means, identifying these qualities when Krishna performed these pastimes. So and so quality. Like grateful, Kritajnyo, in one of the verses, he says, Vidagda Chatura Daksha, Kritajnyo Shraddhaya, Sudruda Vrata, that verse is Kritajnyo, Deshakala Supatrajnyo, Karun, so Panditnyo, Karuna, Ashish, Karuna, Vashi, Nyas, Vayasyaha. So it is said that Krishna is grateful. Krishna is grateful. So we should remember Bhakti Rasam Sindhu that when Krishna is because Draupadi, when she chanted Govinda, he immediately, Krishna became very grateful. Then Krishna, when he was leaving this world, he told Uddhava, my dear Uddhava, there is only one mission unfulfilled. Uddhava asked, my dear Lord, what mission is unfulfilled? I could not repay my debt to Draupadi. When she chanted the name of Govinda, so she, even though I supplied, my debt to Draupadi, it was increasing day by day. Increasing day by day. Like that. So Krishna is grateful. Like that, all these qualities are very nicely explained by Prabhupada in Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. We should remember all these qualities of Krishna. Then experience bliss. Just like Putana. Putana. It is said that Putana Loka Balagni, Rakshasi Rudirasana. Jigamsyar api haraye stanam datva api sadgatim kim punaha shraddhaya bhaktya kim punaha shraddhaya bhaktya krishnaya paramatmane krishnaya paramatmane yaishan priyatamam kimnu rakta tad mataram yatha. This verse is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, describing that Putana Loka Balagni. Putana Loka Balagni. She is a killer of human children. Loka Balagni. Rakshasi Rudirasana. She used to drink blood of children. She used to drink blood of children. Jigamse api haraye. She came to kill Krishna. Stanam datvapi sadgatim. But she gave breast milk tainted with poison, but she got attained sadgati, greatest destination. Kim punaha shraddhaya bhaktya, right? Somebody who is practicing devotional service with shraddha, Krishnaya Paramatmane, Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Asian Priyatamam Kimnu, these ladies, these Matajis, all of these covered ladies, they gave with great love to Krishna milk. What will they attain? Right? What will they attain? Right? So, Kaimutrika Nyaya, Radha Govind Maharaj explains. Kaimutrika Nyaya. If Putana with poison, she got this Sadgati. So, to those who are practicing devotional service, right? Those who are giving to Krishna, with Shraddha, what will they get? Those who are giving milk or anything to Krishna without any desire, what will they get? Those who are giving to Krishna with great devotion, what will they get? Krishna Charak Thakur comments, what will they get? Right? What will you get? Are you envious of Krishna? You want to kill Krishna? But you sacrificed your youth, your engineering degree and came here. So what will you get? Huh? Yeah? What will you get? What will you get? So just think of it, we should think, Are Putana got such a, then Padabhyam, Bhakta Hridi Stirabhyam, Vandabhyam, Lokavandita, Angam Yasya Samakramya, Bhagavan Tadapistvanam, So, Yatudani Sasvargam, Avapa Janani Gati, Krishnam Bhuktva Stanam Shiram, Kimnu Go Anumataram Yata. Anumataram Yata. So, Krishna, the lotus feet of Krishna, the pure devotees of the Lord, they always keep them in their hearts. You know, Padabhyam Bhakta Hridisthirabhyam Vandabhyam Loka Vandita. You know, he is worshipped by Brahma, Shiva Virinchinutam. You know, such lotus feet, Angam Yasya Samakramya. You know, Krishna caught hold of Putana with his feet very hard, very tightly. You know, very tightly. So there is one verse, Sa Muncha Munchalam Iva Prabhasini. You know, Nishpidyamana Sarvajiva Marmini. You know, Vivikta Netra Mukham Bhujam Muhuhu. Charano Mukham Buhuhu. You know, Swinnam Kvabara Prarudanti. You know, Vrishati Prarudanti. You know, this is a Samuncha Munchalam. Putana was shouting, Chodo, 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 Chodo. You know, Radha Govind Maharaj says very nicely, Krishna एक बार पकड़ लेंगे, कभी छोड़ेंगे नहीं. छोड़ने के लिए थोड़ी पकड़ा है. You know, छोड़ने के लिए थोड़ी पकड़ा है. So one Shivaishnavacharya comments, Sa Muncha Munchalam. This is a Vedic mantra. Sa Muncha Munchalam. So this is a Vedic mantra chanted by people who are caught by these Rakshasis, Kotara, you know, Jesta, Revati, Putana, Balamatrika, all these Rakshasis, you know, Dakshina, Prishamandi, you know, Bhuta Preta Pishasascha, you know, Yaksha Rakshansa, Vinayaka, all these, you know, Rakshasis, they are all, you know, very, so when they were caught, Putana is a very, you know, man-eating Rakshasi. So they used to chant, Samuncha Munchalam, Samuncha Munchalam. And then Putana used to run away. When Krishna caught her so tightly, you know, so tightly, she thought he is some demon. You know? When they, to get rid of me, they chant Sa Muncha Munchalam. That's why she started chanting Sa Muncha Munchalam, Sa Muncha Munchalam. Chodo, Chodo, Chodo. Abhi kidhar chodega? Right? Krishna consciousness is one-way path, one-way road. एक बार कृष्ण का भक्ति में आ गया, you know, there is no going back. अभी सोचेगा अरे अभी कृष्ण भक्ति बहुत हो गया, अभी थोड़ा एंजॉय करेगा. नहीं होगा. No enjoyment. Our material life is finished. So, Bhagavan Tapyasanam Yatudani Sa Swargam. She got Swarga. We should not think, Prabhupada also wrote, you know, Vishnu Thakur says, we should not think Putana went to Swargaloka. Sa Swargam, Swa Vasam. You know, Prabhupada, you know, Vishnu Thakur, Swa Vasam means Vaikuntha. You know, Avapa Janani Gatim. You know, she attained Janani. You know, position of mother. So Vishnu Thakur says, she went to Golok Vrindavan, but she did not Sukha Aishwarya. You know, she only attained Sukha Aishwarya. She did not attain the Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, you know, the bliss of enjoying Krishna's childhood pastimes, like Mother Yashoda and all. She did not attain that. Sukha Aishwarya. She attained the Aishwarya and then Sukha, very blissful, very happy. Other bliss, Ananda she didn't get. Sukha, she got Sukha, but she didn't get Aishwarya. Then what to speak of all these cows who gave milk to Krishna when he was doing Brahma Vimohan Leela? Right? Brahma Vimohan Leela. Please, we must meditate on this pastime. Then glorify Krishna's qualities. Radha Govind Maharaj said one very beautiful thing. Putana, Krishna thought it seems, Putana, she reached the limits of cruelty. You know, drinking the blood of human children. Very, you know, in America, murderers, kidnappers, so many are there. But the most hated criminals are child abusers. People who killed, murdered so many people, they are considered good people when compared to child abusers. Child abusers. Child abuse, they kill them, it seems, sometimes. Fellow criminals, they kill these child abusers, it seems. That, child, you raped a child, you killed a child, you are not worthy of living. So Putana, that is the killing a child, is height of cruelty. So Krishna thought, it seems, उन्होंने अपना स्वभाव नहीं छोड़ा, cruelty. I will not give up my swabhava of ati karuna. Right? Ati karuna. Right? Ati karuna. That is why he sent her like that. So Brahmaji in 14th chapter Bhagavad-gita, while praying, my dear Lord, you gave yourself to Putana, Agasura and Bakasura, and then all these ladies, they have so much love for you. What will you give to them? What will you give to them? Vishnacharya answers, no, he give special prema, vimukti dat. Nemam virinchi na bhavo nashtir anga samspraya. Prasadam lebire gopi ettat prapta vimukti dat. Prabhupada writes, he gave something which Lakshmi ji did not get. Right? Brahmaji did not get. Lord Shiva did not get. Mother Yashoda, she was ready to become bound by, Damodara. Right? And then, last time I was telling, Namalvar says that those ropes, they were actually used for churning. And they became, completely very old and rough. Very rough. So she was adding those ropes and bound Krishna. So Namalva was thinking, my dear Damodar, kitna pain hua hoga? Such rough ropes, Mother Yashoda tied you. Later on, Kurotalwar says, that mark was left out, it seems. तो चिन्ह रह गया था बोलते हैं, बहुत जोर से बांधी थी ना वो. While she was binding, she could not leave na. So she was catching hold of Krishna in one hand, and then she was lying. Otherwise he will run away. And then he was bound. She was binding. She was adding the ropes, and then she very tightly bound, and then she tightly bound to the ukal. And then again, thoda reh gaya to wapas, she bound. And then she told, Krishna kala hai, ukal kala hai. Right? So pura merge ho gaya, pura merge ho gaya. And then she told, आवाज नहीं, एक शब्द सुनना नहीं चाहती हूँ, आवाज नहीं. Then Krishna cannot even cry. ऐसा कर रहा था. That only by that people could recognize Krishna is there. Otherwise Krishna काला, ukal काला, पूरा merge हो गया बोलते हैं. वही शब्द से पता चल रहा था. Right? Then so thinking like this, Namalwar went into ecstasy for 6 months. Fainted. Then Kurotalwar says that Krishna was very proud, it seems, when he was to go in Dwaraka and all. He used to tell, in my childhood, I was very mischievous. My mother bound me with a rope. That mark is still there. So he used to show, it seems. ये मेरे देखो कैसा मेरा क्या हालत किया है मेरी माँ ने. कभी कभी चाइल्डहुड में कुछ गांव लग जाता है, वो निशाना रह जाता है ना, स्टिचेस लगाते हैं. राइट, इधर उधर स्टिचेस और निशाना रह, वैसा ही निशाना रह गया बोलते हैं. निशाना रह गया बोलता है. ऐसा. In Vedanta Jasika, in Yadava Abhyudayam, he writes that those who think of this Damodar Leela, that chavi, Krishna bound. Then Yadava Abhyudayam, Vedanta Jasika is surprised. What punya this Ukkal has done? For so long, she was in touch with Krishna. Then in Krishna Upanishad, it is that Ukkal is Kashyap Muni. They were all, Kashyap Muni and Aditi, they were very, sad that they could not take part in the pastimes of Krishna. And then Kashyap Muni became Ukkal, and then Aditi became that rope. It's mentioned in Krishna Upanishad. So he says, those who think of Krishna, Damodar Leela, they get, Damodar means one who is bound to the Ukkal, to the Ukkal, they become liberated. They become liberated. Vedanta Deshika says that Tapasvini tatkratau nitiradhya sarvidam aranyakastau tastau. Means there is a nyaya. In the case of Krishna, whatever Leela of Bhagavan one thinks of, the result is just the opposite. This is illustrated by Desika, saying, those who think of Krishna as being bound get freedom from their bondage. And he says that with a poetic expression, Tatkratu Nyaya went and hid itself in the stories of the forest out of shame on its failure. Because whatever you think, you will become that. What is that? Yam yam va vismaran bhavam jadyatante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tadva. Whatever you think, so if you think of somebody who is bound, you should become bound. But if you think of Krishna bound to the Ukkal, you will become liberated. So that Nyaya went and hidden itself in the forest. That is why he is saying, O Munis and O sages, those who are searching for Brahman in Upanishads, Aranyaka, in Upanishads, you will not find them. I am giving you advice. Go, go to Gokul. He is bound by the Gopi to the Ukkal. There you will find. There you will find. Like that. Anyway, very wonderful. So we should think of all these wonderful qualities of Krishna, and then meditate. Think, sitting, so if you do like that, Vilasa Hasekshita Vamsukte, Anichchatome, without you desiring, Prabhupada writes, you will be taken back to Godhead. Anichchatome. Gati manvim prayunkte. Like that. I will close my lecture by, you all know this pastime. I will tell you one interesting point given by Vedanta Desika in Yadava Abhyudayam. There is one lady, Bill Stri, who gave fruits to Krishna. So Krishna came running, carrying some, gehu or whatever. Most of them fell down. And then she gave. She gave all the fruits. She filled his hands, all the fruits. All the fruits. Then Krishna went inside and kept all the personality who could not carry many of the grains, but he took all the fruits, with his small hands, and then he went inside. When he came out, she was still staying there. Krishna said, "Kya chahiye? Jao, ho gaya na." She didn't observe, Vedanta Desika says, Krishna filled that basket with jewels in value equal to Kaustuba gems. Kaustuba gems, like that. Then he said, "Kya chahiye? Aur kya chahiye?" She said, "I want Mukti Mukunda. I want Mukti Mukunda. Krishna was surprised. How do you know that I am Mukunda? How do you know I am Mukunda? Then Vedanta Desika says, when Krishna was giving dhanya to her in the basket, she saw Shankachakra Gada Padma on his palm. As soon as she saw those insignia on his palm, immediately she wanted, okay, phal I will give, but I will give myself. My hridaya I will give. My hridaya I will give to Krishna. Then Vedanta Desika says, Krishna likes not your phala, karma phala, but your hridaya, your heart, your hridaya. He wants. So he was very merciful. Then when she expressed her desire, I want. Then Vedanta Desika, very beautiful poem he writes that she gave Aranya Phal, and then she got Aranyaka Phal. Bolo, Anandru Prabhu, you understand? She gave Aranya Phal, and then she got Aranya Phal. Vamsi Vadan Prabhu, do you understand this statement? Huh? Veer Krishna Babu, you know the meaning of the statement? She gave Aranya Phal, and then she got Aranya Phal. Pun intended, riddle. Said, she gave Aranya Phal. Right? She gave Aranya Phal. All the fruits from Aranya. So Vedanta says, another meaning of Aranya is Upanishads. Upanishads are called Aranyaka. Go to the forest. So Upanishad ka phal kya hai? Moksha. So she gave Aranya Phal, and then she got Aranya Phal. So why I'm saying this? Putana got, by giving her breast milk, tainted with poison, Sadgati, Janani, Datri. This lady, Vishnu Chakravarti says, even though she got all the jewels equal to Kaustuba gems, she never used them. She never used them. She attained so much Krishna prema. She did not go anywhere. Every day she would come and watch the wonderful pastimes of Krishna and glorify his wonderful pastimes. And then she attained Krishna prema and went back to Golok Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Thank you very much. Anybody has any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.